What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Sean Meehan, and joining me as always is my partner in crime, Mr. Conor Lawler.
Hi Sean, good to be here. Very excited to learn about characters. This is the first time you've done a Hero or Zero, I think in like 2 months? 3 months?
No, I've done 3 weeks, maybe. I've been busy!
He doesn't like us anymore, listeners.
I'm jammed up on a Friday.
He said, I've completed Marvel characters, they don't need to know more. And also, I think the listeners are dog shit. That's what he said.
That is what I said. No, to be fair to him, he's telling the truth there, listeners.
To be fair, that is my chest tattoo.
He goes, fuck the people that support us.
So this is Hero or Zero. This is the show where we choose one comic book character every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we generally just give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. Now, I normally choose DC characters. Last week I covered Stephanie Browne, if you're into the Bat family. One of our most requested episodes, so I decided to get it out of the way while Sean wasn't here. But now Sean, as Sean normally does Marvel characters, it's Sean's week. I'm excited to see who he's done. Normally it's someone who's really, I don't know, confusing, a poor report, badly structured, tough to follow. All of these words have been used to describe things that he's done.
Look, true facts aside, the character that I picked this week, it might be the best thing Marvel's done in decades. Personally, I think so.
Okay, so the Ringmaster. We're doing the Ringmaster again.
Doing Ringmaster again. Exactly correct, Connor. No, we are covering Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
What?
But from the new Ultimate Comics.
I mean, that is a headline. We can use this. That is very good, Sean. Well done.
Think of the engagement.
Oh my, people love Spider-Man. So, Sean, if this is your first episode, you don't have to do anything. Just chill out. Don't worry about it. If it's your second or above, we'd really appreciate 5 stars, a follow, a like, a share. The 5 stars on Spotify, guys, we need to keep getting them up. You know what I mean?
It goes a long way. It helps us out.
Gotta keep getting them up. So we'll keep pumping those numbers up. If you're on Spotify, just hit the 3 dots at the top. Rate show, 5 stars, that'd be absolutely amazing. On iTunes and the show, just leave a comment even. That's pretty cool. I love a comment. And if you want to support the show in a bit more in-depth way, if you want a bit more access to more episodes, more bonus content, we also have a Patreon that you can head on over. We do extra movie reviews and TV show reviews, and there's going to be a live listener hangout for all the patrons at some stage in the next few weeks. So you get automatically invited to that, which is also a cool thing.
It also means that we don't have to do like Raid Shadow Legends ads on the show. We can just, actually talk about things.
Are you getting that Raid Shadow Legends money on the site?
Oh yeah, but no, I'm just doing. I got someone else's link. It's a fantastic game. Let me tell you.
Well, have I ever played a better game? I don't think so.
As I sit on my Casper mattress.
So yeah, if you want to do all that to support the show, that'd be absolutely amazing. Sean, Spider-Man. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Sean loves Spider-Man. Spider-Man is his favourite character, even though we've kind of agreed that Marvel Spider-Man comic books are terrible on the most part.
Yeah, the mainline Spider-Man isn't allowed to grow or evolve in any way. It's like seems to be kind of an editorial mandate at the minute. But a bunch of alternate versions of Spider-Man actually get to do cool things and have interesting story perspectives.
Because Spider-Man is one of those cool comic books where they have like the Spider-Man comic books, and then they were like, what if we wanted to do different stories with this character, but we didn't want it to be in the main canon? So then they created the Ultimate Spider-Man, which is just a different world that they can do different stories with.
Yeah, and there was a run of Ultimate Comics, I think they started around 2004, called The Ultimate Universe. There was a Spider-Man there, that's where Miles Morales came from. This new run of Ultimate Comics only started like this year, so it's brand new, different universe, different stories. I wanted to give a brief rundown of why this universe exists. So we talked about a character called The Maker, who is evil Reed Richards who went mad and tried to destroy the universes.
I vaguely remember that, yes.
Yes, that's all you need to know, basically. So he can travel between dimensions. He discovered a reality called Earth 6160, which is almost exactly the same as the main Marvel Universe, Earth 616. But because the Maker can travel through dimensions and time, what he did is, in this universe, he went back to the point of origin of most of the superheroes and stopped them from ever getting their powers. So
you're telling me, now look, this is a plot twist that I didn't see coming, but Reed Richards is a bit of a dickhead.
Yeah, indeed he is.
I'm shocked.
So what he did, like, he finds the Reed Richards of that universe. He delays the flight that gives the Fantastic Four their powers. He makes it so that Loki ascends to the throne of Asgard instead of Thor. He stops the spider from biting a teenage Peter Parker.
What?
He knows all of these superheroes exist and how they got their powers.
Why is he being a shithouse?
Because he just wants to be... He wants... Yeah, he lost everything, so now he wants to create a world where he's God, basically.
Classic.
Yeah, exactly. So he sets himself up as the Emperor of Earth, basically. He's in charge of everything. He controls all the world politics. He enlists Howard Stark to fix his time machine, Immortus engine, it's called. He brings Stark into his private laboratory, and Stark realises everything that the Maker is doing. So Stark is like, hey, I'm not a fan of this. So what he does is he sends this time machine to his son Tony, because he's like, Tony will know what to do with this. So Howard Stark ends up trapped by the Maker, and Tony Stark uses the time machine to rescue Steve Rogers from the ice before the Maker can get to him. He also uses it to free Thor from prison. He starts assembling a group of superheroes. Avengers. But he knows there's not enough of us. So what he does is he gives people back their origins. So he sends a message to Peter Parker saying, hey, listen, you were meant to have this other life. You were meant to be bitten by this spider 20 years ago. That life was stolen from you. You can take it back now if you want.
And Peter Parker's like, what, 35 here?
35, married with kids, married to Mary Jane, living a regular life. The Maker just took the spider off him. He went on living. He works as a reporter for the Daily Bugle, working under J. Jonah Jameson and Uncle Ben, who's still alive.
Oh, okay.
Because Peter was never Spider-Man. So he never had the opportunity to stop the robber and didn't.
He never, well, however you want to do it, he never went to the wrestling show.
Never went to the wrestling ring, for one.
Okay, let's just look at the wrestling. He never went to the wrestling show because it didn't exist, because he didn't have powers.
Yes, exactly. So he grew up with a nagging feeling that there was something wrong with his life, and he always yearned for a way to change it. The first real disruption to Peter Parker's life occurred when, after Tony Stark stole the Immortus engine from the Maker fired a laser at Stark Tower. One of the people killed in that attack was Aunt May.
Right, okay.
So then Tony Stark gets the blame for this, because the Maker controls all the news. And then Tony sends the spider to Peter. So Peter ruminated on his decision, and he went to Uncle Ben for advice. And he's like, he doesn't tell him, look, I have this opportunity to get superpowers and be a superhero. But he's like, I have this chance to do something. Now, it would change my life a lot, but I think it could be good. If I were
to, I don't know, Ben, gather great power, in terms of what you think I should do, whereabouts in terms of
where
responsibility do you think I should kind of land?
Do you know what? Uncle Ben doesn't give him the great power responsibility speech.
Good.
Uncle Ben has just quit the Daily Bugle with J. Jonah Jameson because Wilson Fisk runs it. And they're like, he's a bad guy. We're going to start our own paper. So Uncle Ben is like, look, you have to do what's right for you. And if you can help people along the way, all the better. Mary Jane also says a similar thing. She's like, look, you got to do what you got to do. You have to be happy at the end of the day. So And again, doesn't tell anyone that he's going to be a superhero, but he lets the spider bite him. Interesting thing about the Ultimate Universe, by the way, it's in 2024, it's set. So the comics come out every month, and it's just like, oh, this happened in January. Oh, this happened in February.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're reading along with it.
So you're telling me we're going to have a Halloween-based one and a Christmas-based one.
Oh, you better believe it.
You know I love that. I love a themed comic.
So a month into his fledgling vigilante career, he still struggled to learn the ropes of his new powers and to capture bigger criminals like the Shocker. So this Peter Parker, he's 35, but he doesn't have the experience. So, like, even
now,
the Shocker is not a threat to regular Spider-Man.
My question of this is 35, but are we talking like sore back, gets a bit stiff in the mornings 35? Or are we talking like he's fit, he's regularly exercising, or is it just like, oh, boys, I've had a tough old day?
He's a good-looking 35, but he is, there's a panel where he looks in the mirror, he's like, Peter Parker, you're not getting any younger. Like
right, okay, so it's kind of like you're looking kind of like a Jake Johnson's, like,
yeah,
into the Spider-Verse kind of Spider-Man.
That, but more put together, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I gotta say, he looks like a whole snack. He looks fucking great, I gotta be honest.
He looks good. The insides, and bits.
In ribbons.
But on the outside, beautiful.
So in his first fight with the Shocker, he breaks most of his ribs because he doesn't know his own strength. Which is always one of my favourite Spider-Man things. Because
if anyone doesn't know, Spider-Man could kill basically all of New York if he wanted to.
Spider-Man pulls his punches basically 100% of the time. As a civilian, Peter captures photographs of his masked self for the Daily Bugle, unaware that the newspaper's owner, corrupt businessman Wilson Fisk, was using Spider-Man as cover to draw attention away from another new vigilante who began to personally target Fisk, namely the Green Goblin.
Oh, okay. So Goblin only shows up when Spider-Man shows up.
Yeah, they show up about the same time, and it's in the wake of Stark Tower exploding and a bunch of innocents dying.
Cool, okay.
So Spider-Man accidentally reveals his identity to his daughter, May, who encouraged him when Peter was second-guessing on being a superhero.
And how old is May?
May's like 6.
Okay. So, not someone you should really take their opinion seriously or anything, like a fucking idiot.
No, but what's cute is, right? So at the start, so it's like a nanotech kind of suit that Iron Man gives him.
Yeah.
But May helps him redesign it and is like, I like red and blue. You should make your suit red and blue. I think that'd be nice. And he does.
Yeah. She probably wanted to be a fucking fire truck a few weeks before that. Like, should we listen to this woman? Like, is that what I'm saying? Like, just
children can't have opinions.
Children can't have opinions, Sean. Right? Whatever she says, do the opposite. Red, I'm going fucking blue now. You say blue, I'm going green. We're going to swap it around because I am not listening to you. What do you know, right? That's what you should say.
Something happen in your personal life.
6-year-olds, I have a rivalry. I'm fighting a 6-year-old.
The updated design featured a red and blue colour scheme, and he tested the new suit by swinging around Manhattan with his daughter. Lovely comic panel. Later, Peter visited Uncle Ben and Jonah's recently acquired building, which was going to be the headquarters for their new journalism business. While there, he discovered that they were spying on Fisk and his organisation.
How did J. Jonah Jameson get famous without asking for pictures of Spider-Man, is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, he's a good journalist at the end of the day.
He's asking for pictures of somebody else, maybe Fisk.
Yeah. And crucially, he's not in charge of the Bugle in this. Fisk is.
Right, okay.
So Peter decides to assist them in his vigilante persona. He conducted a stakeout of a Fisk construction site, hoping to uncover any suspicious activity. Also worth mentioning, he doesn't go by Spider-Man. At this point, anytime anyone asks him who he is, he's like, I'm just a guy trying to help out. Like, that's his whole deal. So just before giving up his stakeout, he witnessed a fight between the Green Goblin and Bullseye, who was an assassin employed by Fisk. Assisting the Green Goblin, Peter seemed to be at a disadvantage against the assassin until the Goblin diverted his attention, allowing Peter to incapacitate him. So, after the threat had been neutralised, the two vigilantes spoke. The Green Goblin revealed himself to be Harry Osborn. who had given a speech about how terrible it was that Stark Tower had exploded. I think both of his parents were killed in the explosion. So that was his origin of being, I'm going to be the Green Goblin now.
Right, okay.
And what I really like is that, because they don't know each other in this, but they meet up, they do this superheroing together, and then Harry's like, you want to grab a drink? Because they're two grown men in their 30s.
Yeah, obviously.
So they go to the bar with no name, they talk, and they learn more about each other, discussing the nature of the world, the fact that the Maker is a secret ruler, and that Tony Stark is on a mission to change it, that he's recruiting superheroes. By April, Peter and Harry are friends. Like, they plan a double date with their respective partners. So Peter is excited to spend time with Mary Jane because he hasn't got to, because he's been Spider-Manning around the place for the last few
that's causing
months.
difficulties in the relationship. It's very
causing difficulties in the relationship. You better believe it is.
Yeah, let's go.
Now, I want to say, mainline Spider-Man, they break up. Let's just see what happens in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Maybe it'll be more cool, calm and collected here.
At the dinner, Peter was formally introduced to Harry's wife, Gwen Stacy.
Oh no.
No, Connor. Alternate universe. She's fine. She's happy.
No. No. I don't like this, Shaun. I don't like it.
So the four then engage in a discussion about their personal lives, recent events, including the appearance of this crazy web-swinging masked vigilante.
Yeah. And there's Peter he always comes in too strong. And he's like, I think he's a fucking dickhead. Oh,
I'd kill him. I'd kill him with my own hands.
I think he should be killed. Death penalty.
When Gwen and Mary Jane proceeded to the restroom together, Harry and Peter discussed Peter's secret identity and the unnecessary strain that it's going to put on his marriage. Harry gave Peter advice on the subject of power and responsibility.
No. Sorry, he gave him advice on maybe having power and then having responsibility?
At the same time.
Simultaneously, but if you had one, then you probably need the other.
If you say great power.
If the power was above good. And then the responsibility
also would be
simultaneously also above good, then you'd probably need to know about that.
Exactly. So, and Harry gives him that advice because he's such a nice dude. Upon the conclusion of the dinner, Peter and Mary Jane walked back to their apartment together. Later in June, and this is, I'm not caught up, so I just stopped at the point that I'm caught up to in the comics, by the way. So this is the last little bit that I have. So later in June, after several days of surveillance of Fisk Tower, Peter and the Green Goblin were ready to break in and eliminate Kingpin when he appeared at the building, despite Peter's reluctance to break the law.
So he's still a dork in all...
Yeah.
In all the aspects. Okay, that's fair enough.
After leaping through the glass ceiling, the duo came face to face with Fisk, who was not surprised by their arrival as he controlled every camera in Manhattan and could surveil them wherever they went. A battle ensued in which the two were completely outmatched by Fisk, and the two ran away defeated. The next day over dinner, so he's back home, he's having dinner with the family. Peter has a big black eye, and he tries to explain it as, a box fell on me at the Bugle, but then...
Uncle Ben beat me up.
Yeah. Joey Jonah Jamieson helped him, he held me down.
They both held me down and beat me with a coin and a sock.
They said something about responsibility, I don't know.
I can't really remember, I have a concussion.
But Peter's daughter, May, anxiously revealed the truth. That Peter was going out being a vigilante.
Can't trust them, Shaun. I called that hours ago.
You really did.
You can't trust them, they're idiots.
So he explained everything about his secret identity. After telling the kids to go to bed, Peter and Mary Jane had a private, grown-up discussion about everything. They talk it out.
What?
He shows her the suit and explains the reasons why he's doing it and asks how she feels about it. MJ supports him in his decision and names him Spider-Man.
Sorry. I can only deal with teenage Spider-Man angst. I can't deal with mid-30s Spider-Man talking to his partner.
Relationship. Like.
MJ and Peter can't have a healthy relationship. Where's the drama? I want at least 5 or 6 times where she's like, I fucking hate you, Peter. God, why are you trying to save those kids?
This is the best Spider-Man's been in years. Like, it's everything they feared. A grown-up, married Peter Parker with kids being Spider-Man. And it's the best fucking thing.
Because they react like humans.
Yeah. And, like, you don't have... Like, I like a lot of Spider-Man stories, don't get me wrong. But with this universe, you don't have all the baggage of everything that ever went on. We're just doing Spider-Man.
I'm going to ask you a question, though.
Yeah.
How many more issues? So we've already had like 9 this year, probably 10 coming up.
Yeah.
So how many issues are we going to get in before him and Gwen Stacy have an affair?
See, that could happen. Or I have a feeling it's going to be Spider-Man accidentally lets Gwen Stacy fall and Harry blames him. And then...
Oh, that's absolutely what's going to happen.
That might have already happened. I'm only caught up to June, but...
Great. What a report.
Powers of... Hey, look, he got his origin. I got him to where he's Spider-Man, so...
I really love that. I like the idea. But then I also had the follow-up. Is this story written for us? So if you're 14... Do you like this story?
I think I get what you mean, and I think you might be right. Is that I think this really hits if you're like around 30 and love Spider-Man.
Okay, but then I suppose I'm already counteracting myself. If you're 14, are you more interested in Spider-Man and MJ constantly having relationship troubles? Or more interested in Spider-Man and MJ just being in a couple and him just trying to be an older Spider-Man? I would argue maybe a 14-year-old also doesn't give a shit about the angst between the two of them.
I think they're not reading... I think this is... I don't
Either way, you're not reading it for that.
Yeah. I think you're reading it for the core of what Spider-Man is, not for the weird little dramas that the writers decide to introduce every so often. The whole thing with this Ultimate Universe, though, is that Tony Stark sends a message with the spider, and he's like, look, I'm sending this back 6 months in time. My hope is, because I'm about to go into a fight right now and there's no heroes in the world, my hope is I send this back 6 months, then in 5 minutes I walk out that door and a bunch of heroes are waiting there for me. So we know roughly where everything's going to end up at. Right,
that's going to be a cool shot, though.
I really can't wait to see that. It's going to be
he's assembling
so
a team.
He's putting together a crew.
A crew, like a ragtag bunch of just like people that we know and love, but they're not them.
Yeah, they recently announced like we're getting the Wolverine is coming into it. Hawkeye is really cool. Hawkeye's Native American now in this new one.
Cool.
Yeah. And like, there's just such good interpretations of characters that it's genuinely one of my favourite things to happen this year.
I think like it's a double-edged sword writing for like the main line, because you have so much history that like you can't get rid of. Whereas where in the Ultimate Universe you start at 0, so you can do these things like this because there's not a lot of dog shit stories that have happened that can ruin there's no spider totems, there's no any of that shit that's gone on. Like, it's the same with any comic book that you read. Like, if you give like really talented writers a story, but you're also starting at technically like minus 20 because we've had 20 bad stories that like have sent the canon all over the place.
Yeah, but all of that matters still. Like,
yeah, you're like, okay, you start at 0, nothing has happened. Do whatever you want. That's a much stronger position to start a narrative from.
And you just, like, on the whiteboard, you just have, like, Spider-Man. And, like, what is Spider-Man at his core? And then build a story around that.
Yeah, cool. I think it's a really good way. I think people love that stuff as well. I think people, personally for me, like, you do get bogged down in coming into an issue and they're talking about things that happened 7 years ago. And you're like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. But like, if someone came up to me and was like, I want to start reading Spider-Man comics, genuinely, I think I would just recommend to read this.
Yeah.
Because it gives you everything you could want from a Spider-Man comic.
Yeah, cool. I think... So when did this come out? Issue 1 was January of this year?
I think so, yeah. January or February.
Okay, everyone get onto that. If you can find it somewhere, buy it online.
Yeah, and look, it'll probably all be collected in like a hardback at some point as well.
Probably for Christmas.
Yeah. So just give it a read, because it's honestly, It's fucking great. Also, his powers and abilities is like 6 sentences, because it's just like, he has the powers of a spider, you know?
Which Spider-Man's powers, if anyone doesn't know, are so overpowered just in like storyline that's why earlier on we were like, he could fight New York. We said it as in like he was a real person, but it's just, I think it's just like from reading all the comic books and stories they've put him in and like canon that we know of, Spider-Man has the power of whatever he fucking wants to do.
That's the thing. He's fought so many gods and monsters at this point that if you scale his power, he's basically stronger than everyone.
Yeah, like I think the best one I ever heard was that like if all of New York decided that they wanted to beat up Spider-Man, I think he could run through at least 1 million of them before he got tired and they got rid of him. Somebody killed him.
Yeah, like if he went full not trying to preserve life mode, I think he'd get through 95% in New York.
Because he would heal faster than they could kill him.
Yeah, he would move faster, he would hit harder, like...
Because he can't be hit. His spider sense would just constantly be ringing.
Yeah, that's another cool thing about this. His spider sense is developing the more he fights. Because it's like experience-based, kind of. Like, he's like, I got hit from this side before. So let me just...
Do you know what? I really love an older Spider-Man. I think it works, because, especially like someone who's like really green and not very good, but... is smart enough to understand. There's ways you can tell the story of him as a teenager trying to figure it out, but there's also the 35-year-old. I have a question: is he cocky in the fights?
No, he's not. He's he's like it's not that he's a jokester or anything like that. He takes it seriously, but every so often they'll throw in a little line, like a dad line kind of a deal.
Whereas, say the teenager is that like he's always quipping because he doesn't understand the severity of the situation.
Which I like how they do that with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's more like nearly an anxious thing. He's just talking.
Because if he's talking, then he's in control. He can just continuously talk constantly.
So that's my report on Ultimate Spider-Man, Connor.
A fantastic report, Shaun. Everyone read those issues. That's amazing. I love Spider-Man, so one of our favourite characters. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this. If you do enjoy it, we have hundreds of other characters that we've covered here. Covered lots of DC, lots of Marvel. We basically try and cover everyone. If you have someone that you like and you want us to do, send it in to us through Instagram, through Twitter, through Facebook, through any of the means that you can. The links are all down below. So if you have a character that we haven't done, send it in. We're happy to add it to the list. We have a whole bunch of characters that have been sent in to us that we're working our way through slowly. As I said at the start, if you give us 5 stars, that'd be amazing. A like, a follow, a share. But, I mean, most importantly, Shaun, they can just tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
Just the one, please. So I've been Conor Lawler.
I've been Shaun Chuck.
I shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.